Hi. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Hi, chat room. Hit that like, share the show, everybody. Don't forget, we can subscribe. You know, you can subscribe. Just 10 subscribers. That's all I'm asking. And then maybe I'll do a show. I don't know. I'm going to hold out. I don't even know. I might even not do a show. I mean, I got it. It's a pretty, as the Hodge twins used to say before they lost their fucking minds, got a damn good show. I think they still say that. But I don't give a shit now. Got a good show for y'all. Got a damn good show. Damn good show. What used to mean we talked about creatine and gave people shitty relationship advice. Now we got a damn good show where each of us gives Donald Trump a rusty trombone. Oh. This is one of those shows it's a damn good show that if Mike Johnson watches it, it'll set off his porn app. Never forget the clear and most important goal of Donald Trump once in office.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
All right. Yeah, well, that's I mean, promises made, promises kept, I guess. All right. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Hit that like. I want a Trump watch. Oh, you want one of the ones that say rump? The rump watches. Did you guys see that? The misprinted rump watches. I don't know if I can. Yeah, there it is. So this hold on. This lady bought the thing. Where is it? Yeah. Scroll in. I gotta get a bigger, closer picture, close up of it. Yeah, there you go. These people bought Trump watches, and this guy bought a matching one for his wife. And you can see right here, the guy one says Trump right there, but this one, I guess the T fell off or something. So it just says rump. Sorry, assholes, no refunds. I don't know what you're complaining about. I mean, what's the difference between that and wearing sweatpants that say juicy on them, I guess. So the rump watch, big seller right now. Big with the right wing. Big rump. A lot of big rumps actually in that regard. Iran has pulled out of the talks over their nuclear arsenal, and there's a lot of death to America stuff being yelled at at the sky. Meanwhile, hold on. The big beautiful bill is taking a big giant shit, and I will show you in a minute. We'll test the waters on the mood, shall we? Let me just put it that way. We're gonna give you're gonna get a chance to see the flop sweat situation. But before that, I want to show you this awfulness that Trump pulled in the the president of South Africa was there, and it's less about I'll show you. Well, the video he played, although the White House put it on their own feed by itself. I don't know if you know about this. Yes, the big beautiful shit. It was terrible, just fucking terrible. But I want to let's be abundantly clear. There is a small factional group in that country which is having a hard time keeping it together these days, that is absolutely calling to wipe out white people or whatever. It is not the government that is elected. The land rule that they passed or whatever still has to pass the judiciary. You're still talking about like the reclamation of certain land, but not all of it, and yada yada. Anyways, this is what you're going to have at the end of an apartheid-like rule, and the remnant left over of it, period. That's why you don't let that shit get started in the first place. Lesson learned, eh? So, but he plays this video thing of it. I don't know if you guys have seen much of it. He spends, it's really weird too, because he knows he's going to play this video. And I'll show you, like when he introduces you'll see. Like you have to look at everything he says in the beginning of this under the context, and I apologize right away because there'll be a lot of nunting in this. Cover your eyes. Maybe you could pull like a sock cap over your head. maybe just only see this part, right? So he watch how he introduces him, and remember while he's doing it that he knows he's going to have these assholes wheel in a TV set and dim the lights and play a video in the room. Also, what is this gaudy fucking golden H.R. Geiger cum shot on the fucking mantle of the White House? Like, everything is this fucking sappy gold. Like, this is the only thing he brought back from the Middle East, is like, we don't have enough gold laminated everything. Jesus. So they sit down, and by the way, we're not going to watch all of this because it's an hour, but Ramaphosa, I have to say, handles himself very well.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's a great honor to be with the President of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, and he is a man who is certainly in some circles really respected, other circles a little bit less respected, like all of us, in all fairness, like all of us.
We all like that.
We also have a few of my friends. Ernie Els, the great golfer. He's a truly great golfer. Retief Goosen, who's an other really, we call him really a great golfer too, Ernie, right?
Yeah, we do. We call him really also a great golfer. When he walks by, that's how we speak words of him. We go, he's really a great golfer too. Also, no one gives a shit, asshole. Golf isn't a sport. It's a leisurely afternoon activity for people with bad knees.
You guys are fantastic, and we could add Gary to the group. Gary Player, what a group
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it.
of golfers South Africa's had on
Yes,
there.
yes.
There must be something in the water, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great white sharks.
These two guys are
It's the water.
unbelievable.
It's the water set.
Gary's Gary, and Dave.
That is true, though. Look, I got credit where credit is due. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to even grasp how one man could be so wrong and so right at the same time.
Frost, also another one that I
Yes.
know is such a great one.
Indeed.
Was he as good a putter as they say, David? He's a
No. He wasn't. Well, some say he was. I say he wasn't. I think most of us think he wasn't. Hold on, I've got to move this a little bit because there you go.
he's a putting machine, right? But he's another one. So something very good about South African golf, and golf is still doing great in South Africa, and they have young players I hear coming up that are going to be very good.
Good. That's what I was worried. I remember everybody was like, "What about AIDS?" And I was like, "Shh. Hey, what about the violence and the kind of the issues that they've had? How are the golfers?"
But it's an honor to have you here, and my friend, it's an honor to have you, one of the greatest businessmen in South Africa and long beyond. Thank you for being here.
And long beyond. And long beyond. Yikes.
Very great honor. Appreciate it. So we're going to be discussing certain things. As you know, we have the G20 is going to South Africa. When is that going to be?
In November.
In November.
Thereafter, I hand over to you. And
Yes, we have it next
you
year.
originated the G20, so I'll hand over the baton to you,
right.
and then you lead the G20.
We're going to have
world.
it.
Yeah.
We're going to have it the following
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So we'll be discussing many things, and some of the things you've been reading about in the papers
Yes.
and the media. And I would say that
Why would we read the papers in the media? Isn't that fake news? It's a bit odd that you're suggesting that we would even believe any of that shit.
the president is a truly respected man in many, many circles, and in some circles he's considered a little controversial.
You mean Elon Musk's and Jason Miller's and and Stephen Miller's and Jessica Miller's?
But we're going to be discussing some of the things that are taking place in South Africa and see if we can help. And we want
See if we can help. Now, understand again, he's planning on wheeling out this fucking television set and playing this compilation video of videos he absolutely got off of Twitter.
to help. And we've had a long relationship with South.
Which is, by the way, can you imagine if you would? let's say America's on the back foot, Africa in the balance of the universe is the powerful country. He comes to visit this guy, and they play a video of guys with tiki torches in Charlottesville going, "Jews will not replace us," and and that, like, and Elon Musk giving a Nazi salute, and the shape of the stage, the Odin rune shape of the stage of CPAC that looks like a symbol the Nazis wore on their collar. And just played a loop of videos like that for him. That's essentially what you're seeing.
Africa. I have, because indirectly I have so many friends that live there. I have a lot of friends. I mean, these are famous guys, but I have a lot of friends that live there that are tremendous people.
No, he doesn't.
And we'll be discussing that. We'll have a nice conversation, and I really appreciate that you guys came along. It really helps us in our thought process.
You mean the part where, why would these white guys come along with the president of South Africa and seem to be on his side if there's a white genocide going on? Oops.
But it is a great honor to have you, and I appreciate you called. He called. I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up. And he said, "I want to come over and see you." And that was my honor. And thank you very much for being here.
You're most welcome.
Thank you
Most
so
welcome.
much.
Well, thank you very much for welcoming us to this reformed White House. I've been here before, and it looks really fantastic. I must congratulate you.
Thank you.
But I also
On your gaudy, nouveau riche, bullshit, Miami, Coke Den aesthetic.
thank you for allowing our delegation. This is a very mixed delegation that you've got. We've got people from government, my ministers. I've got someone from the trade union movement who we really collaborate with, and from business as well, and our sporting legends. When I spoke to you, you said, yes, come along and bring Gary Player, bring any else, and Retief Goosen. I brought the two of them. Gary
what
Player,
happened to
I spoke to him, and he said, look, I'm getting rather on in my years, but wishes us luck in this discussion with you. So it's a real joy, and I'd also like to thank you for allowing your people to start discussions with us at the trade level. I mean, we are essentially here to reset the relationship between the United States and South Africa. We are
What a crazy notion.
long-standing partners in many, many ways. We've collaborated in many fields, in space issues, in energy, and in trade, and we therefore need to reset that, particularly in the light of some of the announcements that you made on trade and investment. So we want to advance more trade between the two of us, two countries, and our people
I guess BRICS fell apart.
now have been empowered by yourself and by myself to start engaging, and we hope that we will be able to fuel that engagement during our talks. And we also
Now, keep in mind, while he's talking, look at Trump. Trump knows he's got this fucking video that he's going to, like, unleash on them.
to discuss issues that have to do with
They don't plan anything. Can I point this out? Trump's crowd doesn't plan shit. They're terrible at stuff. His Golden Dome stuff was 2 AI pictures with a label across the bottom. It was fucking pathetic. But, and like, think of the Golden Dome. They want $25 billion seed money in the new budget, and then they ultimately it's $175 billion. The people in the Air Force and the military are saying it's going to cost somewhere between $500 billion to $1 trillion and take 10 years. But whatever. For that, what does he get? 2 fucking easels and 2 AI pictures printed out like they were made at Kinko's, right? For a school project. But to fuck with the president of South Africa, they edited a video together. They had a discussion about bring the TV in on the roller, have it ready to go, get it all queued up. Like, this is, they put more planning into this than the Golden Dome rollout. Now, I think the Golden Dome rollout was rushed because Russia attacked, a satellite, a dead satellite in the sky to test its system for, its killer satellite system, and that freaked him out. And then somebody went, we need this thing, and he went, okay, and signed off on it.
how we promote further investments in both countries. We've got about 22 companies from South Africa that have invested in the US, thus creating a number of jobs. And similarly, you've got almost 600 companies that have invested in South Africa, and some of them have been in South Africa for more than 100 years.
That's true.
So our links.
Yeah, that's a bit problematic, though. I gotta say, I would rather kind of play up the businesses that have been involved in South Africa since the early 90s, since the late 80s at the latest. I mean, the people that were there over 100, it's like, you have some textile industries that have been going on since, well, some of them stopped working in the mid 1800s, obviously, but
Are really long lasting, and we would like to recalibrate those relations between our two countries and discuss a whole range of issues, geopolitical, the work that you're doing to bring peace around the world, in Ukraine and in the Middle East. So we value that, and we are also a great contributor to peace processes that are going on around the world. And of course, we want to discuss how we can support each other. You are a much bigger economy than we are. We're just a tiny economy, but we rely on each other on a number of issues. We've got critical minerals that you want.
who's doing Donald's hair? He is. Sorry, racism and hold on. What is this bullshit? Racism in America is genetically inherited by the ancestors who left Europe, UK to go to South America, America aus 2, 3, 4. No, not at all. There's no genetically inherited racism in one group of people, dipshit. Because at that point, what you're saying is that you can't end racism as long as those kind of people exist, therefore genocide. So if you're going to call for a genocide someplace, please shoo. There are plenty of places on the internet to do it, but don't do it here. Fuck off.
To fuel the growth of your own economy and reindustrialize. So we have that on offer, including rare earth minerals. So all that combination.
Yeah, South Africa actually more than likely has more rare earth minerals, as it were, or accessible rare earth minerals than certainly most of Europe at the very least. I don't know. Maybe that's what this is. This is a big sales pitch. Oh, they need rare earths? Come on down here.
Of opportunity and the products that we buy from you, as well as what we sell to you, I believe makes up a really good and powerful relationship, which we need to strengthen, which we need to engender, and that is really what has brought us here. And we are really privileged to have, great South Africans in the mix. As you said, you'd like to see them as well. And I brought you a really fantastic golf book.
Oh, you had him at golf and you lost him at book. This is probably where it went south, isn't it? This is where he went, you know what? I wasn't going to roll the TV in, but once you said book.
18 kilograms.
Oh, that sounds good.
And it showcases the golf courses in our country. Johann Rupert wrote preface, so did Annie else. And I want
He's like, wait, it's got words in it?
to showcase our golf courses. You might remember when I spoke to you and we spoke about golf, you said I should start practicing. And I've started practicing, President, so I'm ready. But let me end just the introductory remarks by thanking you. You may not recall that 5 years ago I spoke to you during the COVID period.
Right.
And it was at a time when the whole world was going through a really cathartic moment.
Right.
And we asked for assistance, and you were able to assist us with respirators, respirators, and you kept
Ventilators, but sure.
word, and you delivered respirators to us. We didn't have as many in our country, and it really helped to help us deal with COVID. So I'm here also to say thank you and to thank the people of America for having helped us during a really difficult.
Also, for the record, the ventilators that they were sending out at first, when you're treating somebody with that kind of a lung infection, it can be a last resort kind of thing, and rushing to do it early on may have shortened people's lives or was worse on them, or in certain environments gave them a secondary infection when they were already on their heels. You know, so the treatment via ventilators turned out not to be the primary way to deal with it. But ventilators are fantastic medical devices to have. So all these countries that did get them in this process, even though they became less useful for COVID, they have served a myriad of other purposes, like these, just getting ventilators to these countries, which is a very USAID kind of thing, saves thousands of lives all the fucking time. Right.
Being the small economy that we are, we needed help from around the world. And you were there to provide that. So thank you very much.
I remember the call.
Yeah.
We sent 150 respirators. We became
Ventilators.
the respirator king. We started making them. Nobody had them. We had very few of them.
That's right.
But they were very helpful. But we sent 150, and I appreciated the letter. You wrote me a letter. And
That's right. Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you. I
Well,
appreciate
thank you
that very much.
Thank you very much for that. It really touched my heart after I spoke to you and you delivered.
It's a great honor.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah.
Any questions, please?
Mr. President, you welcome white Afrikaner refugees here. Can you explain?
Okay, so right out of the gate, you brought a bunch of white Afrikaners here. This is a setup question. That's why they were loudest and first and right away, and he knew exactly where, like, Trump was like, any questions? Looking straight at the dude, right?
Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protective status revoked.
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions, they're statements. We've had
Okay, they knew NBC was going to ask the question. They knew ABC. Like, this is, of course, going to be one of the primary ones. And you can tell how they've teed this up, essentially.
tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what we're
Yes, I'm sure, Stephen Miller, there's one thing in Africa that he really hates. I think it's the birth rate.
be discussing today. When you say we don't take
That we'll be discussing today.
others, all you have to do is take a look at the southern border. We let 21 million people come
No, we didn't.
to our border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. They came from all over the world. In many cases, they're criminals. They come from prisons. They come from mental institutions. They come from street gangs. They're drug dealers. So don't say that we didn't take them. We're trying to get them out as fast as we can. And we're doing record business on that. And we just won a big case. We're
Record business.
allowed to send back hundreds of criminals to Venezuela. Just won that today.
No, that case was you're allowed to rescind the temporary protected status. You can cut it short.
The Supreme Court, I'm happy to hear. But we do have a lot of
Yeah, notice he didn't say Congo, Martha Lynn, in the chat. Yeah.
people are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out.
Oof. Yeah, it's a setup.
But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on. And we had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that. It's a kind of a different meeting. Normally we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things.
Yeah, this was a total setup. Like, this is food for MAGA. Like a black world leader, bring him in and shit talk him, pants him in front of the world. Because they think actually the Zelensky thing went so well, and he's a Jew, so that's a B-level win for MAGA. But pantsing a black leader, obviously to him, it's a big win in MAGA world.
That certainly will be a subject that comes up. Yeah. Yes, please. Brian?
Look, by the way, look who's there. Yeah. Musk is here for this
Thank
meeting.
you very much. I'd like to get your thoughts on Letitia James. Director Polte, according to him, Letitia James says that the alleged mortgage fraud was simply a mistake. I want to get your thoughts on that. She put down that her father was her husband in order, and this is very similar to, I guess, the false attacks they had on you.
Well, I don't know what it is currently, but Letitia James, who's the Attorney General of New York State, it seemed, I'm not involved in that at all. I know that it's being handled by various groups, I guess, but it's
being handled by various groups.
Fraud, mortgage documents, and fraud.
He just heard the word mortgage. He has no idea what the case is. Seriously. I mean, he just, like, he knows this much. Get her. That's it. I want to get to the point where they get back to
Scam the government. So,
this guy.
thank you very much. Yes.
Mr. President, what's the benefit for you to be convinced that there's no genocide?
Please.
Thank you.
So he said, what will it take for you to be convinced that there's no genocide? And specifically in South Africa.
Mr. President, so May 25th will be the celebration of Africa Day, which pretty much a lot of celebration will be taking place around the world, including here in the United States. What is your message to the entire African continent, African people, in this important occasion?
Well, I want to see peace, and I want to see happiness. I want to see health, and you have incredible land. There's tremendous value. A lot of countries don't have that value in the land. The value you have, we have.
And who the fuck is this dude just nodding away? As soon as he said value in the land, this dude just starts like that. I think this is one of the business leaders that they brought with them.
Situation, I think you probably heard about it. We've done, through some very talented people, helped settle a war that's been raging for years, Rwanda and the Congo. And I think we've done it.
What?
Believe it or not, I think we've done it. And could you just say a few words about that, my friend?
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, the two parties signed a declaration of principles in which they've agreed on the way forward. And we're...
that's a deal then. In Trump world, that's a deal. They've signed a declaration of principles on a way forward. Okay.
Both submitted draft peace agreements, and we have put together one that incorporates both of their suggestions, and we've given it to them. So we're in the process of finalizing
Looking
this.
good, right?
Looking very good.
We have to thank you for even those efforts, because the African continent, particularly SADC, our Southern African Development Community, has for years been seeking to foster peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So all efforts, including those from outside the continent and inside the continent, are really worthwhile. We are removing our troops from there so that peace can then prevail in that whole area. And we hope that with the support of the international community, we will really have peace in that area. It's so vital, it's so important for the whole region.
Well, we sent our people there, and I think we did a very good job. I said it by my friend, and that was great. That was great. I mean, I'm just hearing phenomenal reports, because all I've heard...
He just heard it right now. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. He does this all the time. And a lot of times what he'll do is repeat. You'll notice this when he'll ask somebody about something, like they're in charge of that because he knows this is part of the meeting. So like, that guy's in charge of Africa stuff. And they'll go, they'll bring up that part of it, and then he'll pitch it over to there. And that's one of their things they've rehearsed. But he doesn't know the details of it, doesn't care. And so he'll just repeat back some of the words that the person who said it, as if he's heard other reports at other times.
Death, and they're chopping heads off, and it's horrible over there. And it was really brave of you to go there, and I really appreciate it. And it looks like
He didn't paratroop in, motherfucker.
Have something very, very substantial. We also talked about trade with them in terms of rare earth and all, but really more for it's like, if you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India,
You didn't do anything.
Settled that whole thing, and I think I settled it through.
No, he didn't.
We're doing a big deal with India. We're doing a big deal with Pakistan. And I said, what do you...
No. The U.S. is doing a big deal with India, and your son is doing a big deal with Pakistan.
Doing? Somebody had to be the last one to shoot. but the shooting was
That's off of that's the problem.
worse and worse, bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper into the countries. And we spoke to him, and I think I hate to say we got it settled, and then 2 days later, something
4 hours. It was 4 hours.
happens, and they say it's Trump's fault. But Pakistan.
No one thinks you had anything to do with it, dipshit. You're not that important. I just got my copy of The Atlantic today because I subscribed to it because of Jeffrey Goldberg. I was like, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and subscribe to The Atlantic. And it's the one that on the cover it says, I run the country and the world. He fucking actually believes it.
And has got some excellent people and some really good, a great leader. And India is my friend, Modi. And he's a
Mutual friend?
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I called them both, and we just did something good. We're trying to settle Russia, Ukraine. We spoke with President Putin for 2.5 hours the day before yesterday. I think.
No, you didn't.
Made a lot of progress, but that's a bloodbath. 5,000 people are being killed a week. 5,000 soldiers a week, not including people in cities and towns that are also.
Well, yeah. Why would you?
Being killed. So we're trying to help.
Why would you include peoples who are being killed in cities and towns? I mean, who does that?
And it doesn't affect us. It's not our people. It's not our soldiers. It's Ukraine and it's Russia. But if we can save 5,000 souls, we'll do it. We're pretty good at it. But that's a bad situation.
You're pretty good at it. Apparently not. You're about to walk away. Well, 5,000 souls aren't worth it. This is too hard. You do realize the more he ratchets up this shit about the value of human life, the more when he walks away, it just points to the fact that he's a fucking liar.
That is a really bad situation.
Well, you'd recall when President Zelensky was coming to South Africa, that's when I spoke to you.
That's right.
We both agreed that we need to push the peace message so that there can really be peace. And we've been involved in the Ukraine-Russia conflict for quite a while through my Minister of State Security here. We've been dealing with them, the exchange of children who were taken away, going through names and addresses and all that. So we've been invested in that whole process as well. And the moves that you are making are fully supported by us because we would like to see the end of that war.
It's true. I called Zelensky and they said, he's in South Africa. I said, what the hell is he doing in South Africa?
He was talking to
and
us.
we got to speak. I said, that's a strange one. I said, what are you doing in South Africa?
Yes.
That's a strange one.
He's trying to make peace. We're taking him. We were lucky because we had the great Nelson Mandela who taught us how to create peace, to make peace. So we were imparting some of those lessons.
I don't think Elon is buying this. It's pretty great watching. I think, I don't know if what I enjoy more, Trump just sounding like an uninformed dickhead surrounding by, like, everybody in the room, maybe not Hegseth and Vance, but everybody else in the room knows more about what's going on than they do, from the reporters to the South African contingent to whatever businessman. The fucking golfers know more about this topic than he does. So him just, and the fact that his head looks so fucking small, it's such a weird thing. But in the meantime, him like embarrassing himself by just being stupid, and Elon Musk just grinding his fucking teeth.
To him some of those learnings, and I specifically mentioned to him that this is how Nelson Mandela taught us.
Look at him trying to just
when
fucking.
you want to have a peace in a country, do it on an unconditional basis and sit down and talk. And that's precisely what I'm sure he's going to heed.
Well, we're going to see what happens with that one. It's there's a lot of hatred.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
There is,
death.
yeah.
It's a bloodbath.
It is.
I get the
Unfortunately.
I get the satellite pictures of that field, of that kill.
No, you don't. They're not satellite pictures. They're drone shots, stupid. You can see them on the fucking Telegram channels. Good God, man. If you see the satellite pictures, you can't even tell what's going on. Fuck me. He doesn't do his presidential daily brief, so he doesn't know. What he's talking about is shit that he scrolled by on his fucking Truth Social or Twitter feed.
Field. You never saw anything like it in your life. It's horrible.
Well, he's from South Africa. Yes, he has.
It's a horrible thing that it goes on, but I think we've made big progress.
Sir, on the
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gaza
No,
is
no, not you. Right here. He's from South Africa. Go ahead, please.
What are you expecting on the ICJ case? Are you expecting South Africa to drop that? Is that what you're trying to
On
reason?
which case?
The ICJ case against Israel?
Criminal justice.
International Criminal Court.
I don't expect anything, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know. It's
He doesn't know what they're fucking... He didn't even know... It doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He's not paying any attention to it. Like, he doesn't... He's like, South Africa's so small, why does anybody fucking listen to him? Seriously.
they've got a case. There's a lot of anger there, tremendous anger. I don't expect anything. We'll see what happens. We'll have a ruling, and who knows what the ruling is going to mean. Yeah.
On that subject of Gaza, Mr. President, are you going to be speaking to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Israel's renewed offensive there? There's been a lot of concern from European countries. The Pope has expressed concern. Are you going to be asking Prime Minister Netanyahu to tone down the offensive in Gaza, to let more aid in?
Was that a question or a statement?
It's a question.
This guy's, you never change.
Mr. President, decide what will
Please.
it take from you for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, I can answer that for President.
Ooh, oof. Uh-oh, was this the Zelensky moment?
For him, I seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
My president will respond to you.
Yeah, let me.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here.
The white golfers. We brought some white golfers to tell him that he's full of shit, because we know he doesn't listen to us. So, but we know he does listen to white golfers.
Have talks between us on around a quiet table. It will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So
No, I guess that's this guy. He's the Minister of Agriculture. Well, I mean, he might be afraid that you might kill him, I guess. Like, just because he is doesn't mean he's that. But the golfers, I agree, sure.
take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective.
And not using grok, which will basically tell you, if you ask it what time it is, it will tell you 10 past white genocide in South Africa.
That is the
What kind of, should I wear stripes vertically or horizontally, considering my height? You should wear them, whatever color won't, that will not assist the white genocide in South Africa. What the fuck is this?
answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it.
Sure.
And we have documentaries, we have news stories.
Documentaries. He means this slapped together fucking montage.
And that, is Natalie here? Somebody here to turn that?
Yep, here it goes. They brought this thing in. This is him setting a fucking snare.
Show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
We have. Let me see the articles, please.
Wait, who just put no whites, no monsters, no problems in my chat? Who did that? No whites, no problems, friends with monsters? You really think that? You really think that's how you should communicate with your fellow humans? That's a real thing? You think that's cute or sweet or helpful? Think that works? Good Lord.
If you would, and turn the lights down.
Turn the lights down low. I've got my shitty montage.
Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you. Johan.
Johan, literally the guy turning the white genocide montage name on is named Johan. Hausenfause.
Can do with or without you. People are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't.
Okay, the president's trying to tell him, like, this is like a fucking. This is like showing a Klan rally or something in the United States and saying this is who runs the government. You know that, right? Like, they draw a crowd, but that's it. They're not part of the government. They're not, you know, certainly not now. Yeah.
We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. Yes. South African occupy land. That's who we are. Honorable member, want to do, can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament. Honorable. Yes, honorable member.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Yamaza. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
Yeah, it's like literally this is like if the Skokie March was filmed, you know, the Nazis that marched through Skokie, and you're like, this is the U.S. government. This is what they're okay with. Like,
The mayor of DA in PE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Mashaba and Soli will not be touched. They will be touched. Don't worry.
yeah.
But we are starting with this one.
Oh my God. These black people are talking to other black people like we talk to white people. Uh-oh. I don't know if Trump is upset by this or jealous. Because say what you will about Trump's rallies, he never could get everybody to follow along in a chant. They did USA occasionally, but only when somebody would heckle.
We are cutting the throat of whiteness.
This guy was playing the hits, man. Every time they throw one of these rallies, he was doing the brr pa, shoot to kill. It was like the worst drill rap you've ever heard in your life. That's a good point, chat room. I would like to say this beats the shit out of the Epstein files. You know, I mean, you could have a screen up where they're showing, you know, Trump's party video with Epstein. I think that would probably work, right?
The poor, the farmer.
By the way, they're saying, I think the word bua, like boar, that white people are the boar, the pig, kill the pigs.
Shoot to kill. Kill the poor.
So this is a big hit. It was in the charts for like 3 weeks. You know, that's. It kind of faded. You know, the problem was he did that shitty acoustic version of it for Unplugged, and it just didn't keep it, right? Didn't have the energy, didn't have the vibrancy.
The poor, the farmer. I'm saying you was not.
How many like people think, like Trump's people think that this is like the president of South Africa when he was younger, that this is video of him?
For the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future. Yeah, but
you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter. They freak out. It sounds like a genocidal sport.
See, this acoustic version doesn't really sell it. You know what I mean? Just doesn't. Yeah. Did Stephen Miller dig this up? This is all over fucking Twitter. These clips have been all over Twitter for fucking ever. They just slapped them together. It's like all from like an 8-week period. Yeah, so you just can't, you know what I mean? You can't get on the right hoof. You know, with the, the do-do-do had a kind of a oomph to it. But when it's la-di-da, you can't do the same dance. It just doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's just really wrecked the party, I gotta say. It's probably him shutting the party down. It's the remix. This is the remix. You don't think I'm gonna take any of this shit seriously, do you? You could deal with a serious issue without having to take every stupid nuance of this bullshit that Trump's putting on as serious. I'm not gonna entertain it like that. The translation is the really fun part, because like if a bunch of like hippie white people heard this, they'd be like, oh my god, this sounds, you know what this reminds me of? Like the background singers on a Paul Simon record. And the words are like, shoot the white people as they're running, throw their kids on the fire. You know, like, and you just see like these hippie people just leaning back and forth, you know, in their Queers for Palestine shirt. This is so lovely. I love indigeny. I love the original stuff. This is the true, I'm getting the real stuff, man.
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Well, okay, cool. Well, they did, and okay, fine. Hold on. So they play the rest of this shit, and then they show this thing, which is a road of Trump. Well, hold on. So they show this video, which is all these crosses along the street that represent white farmers or people who've been killed. So they stretched a bunch of them along this road of people that have been murdered. And I've talked to this before, but like Trump and his crowd are under the impression that black people are killing white farmers and going unpunished because the government is conducting a white genocide in the country. This is the narrative. When in reality, in these cases where black people have killed white farmers or what have you, it's the same as when black people kill other black people there. They don't have any of the resources, right? They don't have, they can't hunt down any of these murders. They are behind the 8 ball. You were vibing to it when you thought of that bullshit about hippies. No, I agree. I both can be true.
Now this is very bad. This
is very bad. So, by the way, this was like a monument thing that they did, I think. I don't even know that it was in South Africa, so I'm not going to take him at his word. But the point is, Trump actually thinks the dead bodies are buried along the road. It's clear from what he's talking about that when these people are parked next to these crosses, he goes, that's not traffic. They're stopping there to pay their respects to people who are dead, right? And it's so fucking annoying. And he thinks, I think he really believes like the dead are buried along the road and they each have a cross because that's their actual grave.
Burial sites right here.
Right, yeah. He fucking thinks this. This is nuts. No, that's not what it was. It's not what he really believes that someplace in South Africa there is a road where there are dead white people graves all along the fucking road. And there isn't. Let's just state that right out of the gate. Like, this is fucking crazy.
Burial sites.
No. What the fuck? No. No. These are not burial sites, you dipshit.
Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning.
Pay love on a Sunday morning. That's what we like to do. I often will pay love on a Sunday morning. I think that's got to be Cat Stevens' worst song, Pay Love on a Sunday Morning.
Each one of those white things you see is a cross.
You better watch yourself, those white things.
And there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed.
What, do they drive along until they see the name of their loved one? Fuck, hell. This is so bad.
And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it.
Nobody has, because you're not seeing it now, stupid.
Both sides of the road, you have crosses.
Yeah, apparently, these are the white farmers that didn't have any relatives then? Okay, if you're on the left side of the road, if you've got family, we'll bury you over here. If nobody knows, good God. This is so fucking weak. Hold on. It's known as the Montage. Look it up on Wikipedia. It's it's a memorialized murder of black and white people. Yeah, it's a memorial, right? This is what we know. But he thinks it's a fucking grave.
Those people were all killed.
The traffic was that bad?
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. I don't. Okay.
I mean, it's in South Africa.
Sure. It's the south part of Africa, I think, maybe.
We need to find out.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe just know the name if you're going to present it as some sort of weird sideswipe evidence. Hal, you are being accused of doing the stream and saying you're running for POTUS just to get money. What are you talking about? Okay. Are you saying that the live stream that I do 6 days a week, I'm doing for a living? Okay. That it's a job? That I actually work at it? Okay. I'm doing it for food. Does that make you feel better? And shelter and clothing. And I have a child. Look at fucking JD piling up some pictures. Here's some of the slaughter pictures you wanted to give him, Mr. President. This is, by the way, this is arguably exactly what they did with Zelensky. They just have they're just more props. Also, I am running for president, but I'm not asking for money yet. So until I'm officially running, what the fuck difference does it make? So stupid. But so yeah, I guess. Heard you just doing your job to get paid. It's true. I have to confess, I'm doing my job to get paid. Yes, and even when I do art, I expect to get paid for my art because I work at it and make it good. But look at this shit. They just brought a bunch of props this time because it didn't work with Zelensky. So maybe we should add some video. Thank you, Alexa.
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One. Perhaps
What are you talking about?
Can we have a South African question, please? Mr. President,
the Pentagon spokesperson.
What does this have to do with?
What does this have to do with the fact that I am ambushing this man with a bunch of bullshit I saw on Twitter? Stop asking me about my obvious and outright graft. I just played. We put a video. We worked hard on this. I put a video together. I didn't. The staff did. Stephen Miller put a video together, and he was up all night editing it. You should see him this morning. He looks like I was about to say he looks dead, but he was like exhausted, but that's normal. He looks like normal this morning, which is terrible for him. And then JD Vance was at the photocopier all afternoon making a little picture book for me so that I could hold up this thing to make it look like it's not the same 7 things photocopied 19 different times, so it looks all thick, and so I can wave at him and tell him white genocide. And you come out of my special video and you ask him about a fucking plane. Stop it! What are you asking me about the stupid plane for? Asshole! I'm trying to embarrass a world leader here because he's black. Don't ask me about my clear and obvious bribe from a government that is aligned with Hamas. Shut up. I don't even know who asked that question, but it's fucking great. Just absolutely like flicked him in the dick right as he was starting to get a semi, and then he lost his concentration. I was getting a rage boner, and now it's gone.
Sorry, jet. They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing.
No, they're not. The Air Force, a jet. Shut up.
We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one,
you suck. Ruined my whole science. We worked all afternoon on this, and you blew it, jerk. Stop it. I don't know why that's my. Shut up. I used all my credits in the copy machine for this. We had to go get quarters twice.
you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing, they also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment.
No, they didn't. You don't give investment. You would only put it in, I guess, if you expected you will be able to get that back or something better. Also, they didn't just give you 5.1 trillion. They said they're going to over a period of time, which they were already doing. So they just added up the number that they're currently at and said over the course of 10 years, it's going to be $5 trillion.
In addition to the jet, go back. You ought to go back to your studio at NBC because
the snacks are better. Because it doesn't smell like. Hold on. Where's my pointer on this? It doesn't smell like. Right.
Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network, and you're a disgrace. No more questions from me. Go ahead.
It could just say it like totally undermined his entire thing. It's kind of the best part of that whole thing. It's just like he set this thing up, and he's still going to pick up some more shit, and it's still embarrassing. And I think, like I said, the president Ramaphosa handles it very well, considering. Yeah.
Go ahead, talk about that.
Please, may we have a South African
His name
question,
is Peter
Mr.
something.
President
He's
Trump?
a terrible.
If they're committing genocide, why invite them to the White House? I'll be quiet.
There you go. Quiet. If they're committing genocide, why invite them to the White House? Quiet. I invite people who are committing genocide to the White House all the time. Quiet. You're going to make the Russians mad. I had planned on them. We were going to make s'mores. Quiet.
That's my question now.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, President Trump. Annika Larson from ENCA in South Africa. Thank you very much for hosting us.
Hi, I'm a white lady. I'm, as you can see, not currently dead. I flew on the plane over with these folks. None of them tried to murder me. Just context.
What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation
I don't
we've just
know.
seen on the screen?
Great. Leadership, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I don't know. If you think there's really a genocide going on, I think the first answer would be stop. Right? just off the top of my head, if you actually believe what you just said, you'd go, I want him to stop. I want them to stop this law about the reclamation of land, and I think it's been weaponized and people are getting killed. And then he'll go, that's actually not what's happening. And then you go, you're fake news too. Why don't you go work at NBC? Fuck all of y'all. I'm going to go have a fish delight. That's how the meeting would end.
Don't know. Look, these are articles.
I don't know, but I got pictures. I got a picture book. Boo.
Over the last few days, death of people.
Death of people over the last few days.
Death.
That's clip art. Sorry. That's
Death.
stock photo.
Horrible death.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just worse than regular death. But half the calories. So.
Death.
Four pictures
know.
of
But you know,
death. Death or traffic. I don't know. This rally. Sorry. Tomato prices are up. Death. Avocados. Death.
I think anyone, white South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all
From NBC News? Is that you're reading that from what would be the news source on that? I mean, you like to go, what? Who are you with? Who is that with? Is that? I mean, look, where'd you print that? Fucking Elon Musk's private Substack?
I'll give these to you. So when you
Oh yes, they'll all have a gift. Yes, thank you.
when you say what would I like to do, I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couple say that they were attacked violently.
They do? They were genocided? This is my account of how I and my family were exterminated. A true story told in real time. Yes. So you say that you and your husband were genocided? Yes, we were. Yes, we were both in traffic, and we were driving, and we were both genocided. Yes, we were both genocided. We had both had a nice lunch and a genocide, and then we ended up back at the house, and he's had a skin knee for weeks.
When will you go and see for yourself if it is?
Well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried.
President Trump.
Well, we can't just leave them everywhere. Yeah. Obviously, if a white farmer dies, you're going to bury him. You're not just going to leave them in the street or whatever. Well, that's why they just roll them over into a ditch and then cover them with dirt, put a white cross, and just keep on driving. This is all bullshit. Please, look, there's a serious issue to be dealt with here, and there's a serious issue in South Africa with their crime that they've had to deal with, and they have a power issue, and all. These are all very serious things. But I'm not going to take this dopey motherfucker seriously. I won't do it. I will not dishonor the dead and injured and disenfranchised by taking this fuckhead seriously in this situation. I'm not going to do it. Not ever.
He asks about a jet that was given.
My first question is about Afrikaners.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Maybe you could use the jet to evacuate some of the white farmers or some of their dirt. I don't know. How do I know you're a farmer? Okay, good. He's wearing galoshes. He's got a pitchfork.
You are so bad.
He's so mad. He's so fucking mad. It's great because they just Peter Jennings, high five, dude. You absolutely popped his party balloon. It's so good.
Such a bad reporter.
You're so bad. You're a bad reporter. You make everything bad. Everything you do is bad. I had a party and I was having my white genocide party and you ruined my white genocide party. And I went to blow out the candles and you blew out 2 of them and there was still 12 left and I blew on them and it wasn't all blown out so you get part of my wish. You're a bad reporter. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying how pissed he is and what a fucking dud this was because of that. This is embarrassing and terrible on its own, but it could have been a lot worse.